guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. Of course, I'm here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida. And guess what? We're gonna do a little bit of a performance Mustang comparison. I'm gonna take this 2020 Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1, and I wanna show, well, what are the differences? When you're going this performance Mustang route, what really is the difference? And we're gonna compare it to my new 2020 Shelby GT350R Heritage Edition, to really, like I say, showcase those performance differences. But let's talk a little history about the Mustang. Mustang's been around since 1964 and a half. What's wonderful is that when they started selling the car technically as a 1965 model, that's when the Shelby GT350 was created. That was Ford's way of working with Carroll Shelby, working with Ken Miles, turning a secretary's car into a full-fledged performance car. Now, even though these cars have a lot of differences, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of similarities, especially when it comes to performance. So let's go ahead, dive into these two Mustangs and see how they stand out from the rest of the Mustang pack. Right off the bat, you'll notice with the Mustang GT, you're gonna have a totally different front fascia. Now this front fascia was refreshed for 2018. You'll notice headlight design, they changed it up a little bit. They actually changed the elements inside of the headlight housing with that chrome trim and that projector beam style headlight. You have your triple bar LED daytime running lamps, and then as we work our way down, a little bit more of a sharper edge angle. You do have some functional side air curtains, and then on the Performance Pack Level 1, you are gonna get this larger front splitter. You compare this to a standard Mustang GT, this front splitter comes out further. Now you have some flat black on the bottom, gloss black up top. I wish they would have just made this flat black. So I am gonna zonk the gloss black, but you have that iconic chrome pony there, and then the diagonal slots there give it a nice extra touch to it. Now when we get up onto the hood, this is your Mustang GT hood. You have two honeycomb design, gloss black heat extractors. Really love that design, really goes back to those early muscle car days in the 1970s, late 60s into the 70s. Now on the Shelby GT350 and the R specifically, you'll notice that we're using the older style headlight design. So you still have that projector beam style and you still have the tri-bar LED daytime running lamps, but it's actually a totally different shape. It's a little bit smaller. I'm glad they left that alone on the GT350R. We come down, you're gonna get a ton of flat black. Everything is functional. On the R, we have the massive front splitter. So just like the splitter, the lip on the Performance Pack Level 1 extended out a little bit, you can see just how much further this comes out. This being a Heritage Edition, has the Guardsman Blue badging, that GT350 Cobra badge there, and the Guardsman Blue racing stripes. And that's another thing to kind of compare the two. This is Wimbledon white. The brighter white is known as Oxford white. The one thing I'm gonna zonk, yes, on my very own car, is I wish that this was a wire mesh rather than the plastic. I am happy that it is flat black, but I wish it was a wire mesh. And one thing you'll notice is that for the 2019 model year, they actually made this opening behind the grille smaller. Now you're probably wondering, well, Joe, why would they do that? Wouldn't that block off airflow? It actually helps generate more airflow at a higher rate and really bring cooling to that front radiator. Now, as we come up onto the hood, you'll notice the racing stripes go all the way back. We have a totally different shape hood. The hood has a flat black honeycomb design, heat extractor, and the front end of a Shelby GT350, whether it's an R like mine or a standard GT350, it's actually 2 inches wider than your run-of-the-mill Mustang GT. And like I said, I'll have Victor kind of showcase the white Oxford white, much brighter white, compared to Wimbledon white on this one. But why don't we go ahead, let's take a lap around both of these and see how they are different, even though they're both performance Mustangs. All right guys, time to take a lap around the Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1. You can get a Level 2. Those are extremely hard to come by, but there is actually even more performance than what you see here. Now, when you go Performance Pack Level 1, you're gonna get these upgraded 19-inch wheels, gloss black. Really love the design of the wheel. You're also gonna get larger calipers. So you're getting 6-piston Brembo calipers, flat black with the red Brembo name on it, and then rotors. Rotors are actually larger. They're 14.2-inch rotors, fully ventilated, and of course, they wrap the wheels in a little bit more performance-oriented tire. These are the all-new Michelin Super Sport 4S's. So this is gonna give you a little extra grip, still some good wear capability. They're 255 on the width and a 40 series sidewall. Underneath all the sheet metal, of course, you're gonna get some thicker anti-roll bars, some different spring rates to help with handling, and obviously magnetic ride suspension is available on this car as an option. Now, as we go down the side, you got that classic 5.0 badge. That stands for that 5-liter Coyote V8 engine, 307 cubic inch engine. I do like the way it's got that nice flat black side sill extension, really clean classic lines, just like on my GT350R. Color match mirror caps. As we work our way back, the one thing I do like on this one compared to my R is I like the flatter satellite radio antenna. Nice little, almost like a hockey puck. You'll see what we have on mine. I'm gonna zonk it. It's a little too crazy. Out back, what are we working with on this Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1? So now you got 275 on the width. So 255 up front, 275 in the rear. You got your standard sliding caliper back here, and as you can see, a 14-inch brake rotor. Now, as we kind of squeeze through the two Mustangs here, Performance Pack Level 1 has a unique wing. I actually love the style of the wing, the way it curves on the sides, and this V-shaped pedestal mounting in the middle. You have your GT badge, and as we drop down, new for 2018, that's still on this 2020, I love the quad tip exhaust. The sound is awesome. This one has the active exhaust, so you can make it louder or quieter depending on how many people you want to piss off. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready, let's take a lap around my GT350R. All right, guys, let's take a lap around my GT350R Heritage Edition. You'll notice when we get to wheel and tire, you are gonna get a 19-inch wheel. Now, the difference between this wheel and the wheel over on the Mustang GT is that this is a carbon fiber wheel. Being an R, it actually has longer wheel studs. And if you notice on the inside of the wheel, it actually is not painted black. It's a ceramic. That white is a ceramic coating because of the extra heat that these massive brakes are going to create. So you have even larger 6-piston Brembo caliper, and then check out that pizza-sized rotor. That's a 15.5-inch rotor, 2-piece rotor, aluminum hat from the steel rotor. It is ventilated, and behind all of this bodywork, you're actually getting on a 2020 GT350R suspension that's similar to the GT500, plus the magnetic ride suspension, of course, comes on this car, and it's specially track tuned. The carbon fiber wheels, and if you're wondering, well, why do carbon fiber? They're extremely light, very light wheel, less rotating mass. Is going to quicken up that steering. The GT350R comes from the factory with those Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. So even stickier tire than what's on that Performance Pack Level 1. Obviously going to wear out a lot faster though, but boy, does she look sexy sitting here. We go down the side, because the car is wider, you actually have the wider fender for that massive fender flare, the GT350 badge. This being a Heritage Edition, we have our GT350 side stripe, Guardsman blue to match up top. You also have the lower side sill extension, but because of the flared out front fender, there's actually a different shape to it, which is really, really nice. Blacked out on the mirror caps, here comes a zonk. What the hell were they thinking? They put a shark fin antenna on the GT350 and 350R. That was something new, late production for 2020. I'm liking what's over there a lot more. I'm gonna have Victor kind of swing around and showcase just how far the width. He's gonna swing around, showcase the width coming off that front end with that flared out fender, the functional vent. You can see that lower sill, the extra aero work that's been worked into that design. Now, as we come towards the rear end of the business, here's what we're working with. So you're gonna have a 4-piston Brembo caliper, so even more braking capability than what's on that Performance Pack Level 1. You still got a 2-piece rotor, obviously carbon fiber wheels. We're now talking 315s back here. So 315s, like steamrollers, gonna keep you planted. We come around the rear, you can see how they flare out the back to kind of tuck as much as that rubber under some type of fender there. And then spoiler, this is unique to the GT350R. This is a carbon fiber spoiler. You got the racing stripes that come down so nicely, those Guardsman blue racing stripes. And then when we get to the tail end of the business, you're gonna have a totally unique rear diffuser. You got the Cobra badge, the blue stripes, and then you have a totally unique diffuser to the GT350 and 350R. Hiding behind here is a differential cooler, which that one does not have. This does have 373 gears, and you have that quad tip active exhaust that's gonna let that Voodoo engine sing. All right, guys, we got the hoods popped, right off the bat, we're gonna have to zonk both prop rods, especially on a hot day today. The hood is not light, especially on the Mustang GT, and you're gonna burn your fingers if you don't use your palm. Now, underneath that hood is another zonk for me, this massive plastic cover. You could use this to go snow sledding, you could do some surfing on that, maybe some boogie boarding, but boy, oh boy, does it do nothing for the engine to show it off. But what you're looking at underneath all that plastic is gonna be that 5-liter Coyote V8 engine, 460 horsepower, 420 pound-feet of torque. You could get the Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1 with a 6-speed manual or a 10-speed automatic. With the 10-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, quarter mile in 12.1 at 120 miles an hour, and your top speed is limited to 156 miles an hour. The car weighs 3,875 pounds, and it gets about 16 miles per gallon in the city, 25 on the highway. Now, when we're looking at the engine, what's different on the Performance Pack Level 1? You are gonna get that nice size strut tower brace, says Mustang GT on it, which is wonderful. You're also getting an upgraded radiator, so you're getting a larger radiator for better cooling, and you're getting a limited slip, a torsion limited slip diff. This, having the 10-speed, has a 355 gears. If you go with the manual, you could get 373 gears. Now, over to the Voodoo Magic in the GT350 and 350R, you can see how much larger that strut tower brace is, the Ford Performance badge. I like the way there's no plastic whatsoever. You can see who hand assembled this very GT350R, but what you're looking at is that 5.2 liter Voodoo engine. It's got that flat plane crankshaft, 526 horsepower, 429 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated to a 6-speed only manual transmission, no automatic. If you know how to dance on those twinkle toes, 0 to 60, 3.7 seconds, top speed 180 miles an hour, quarter mile 11.9, MPGs 14 in the city, 21 on the highway. So the big zonk is you do have gas guzzlers tax on this vehicle. Weighs in 3,700 pounds. The GT350R weighs in 3,700 pounds. Of course, you're gonna have your massive open air box. I love how you could clearly see the intake plenum, the Powered by Ford badging on the valve covers, and that red line, 8,250 RPM. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Get your towel out because we're gonna have a little bit of an eargasm. All right, guys, we're inside this 2020 Oxford White Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1. I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, I'm liking this Mustang, especially the way that I could get an automatic if I want to. How much is it? The way that this one is optioned is right around $48,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panels, I do like the way they have the leather material all across the back side of the door. The contrast stitching is very tasteful. And then you're gonna have that nice silver trim that kind of brings you back to the classic Mustang days. When you go from the door panel to the dash, soft touch material. I like this 55 years of the Mustang badge. And also on the Performance Pack Level 1, you have this nice, it almost looks like it's machine turned treatment here. You're gonna get your oil pressure and your vacuum pressure gauges very tastefully done. You have an 8-inch infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You could use touch system for your air conditioning. It does have navigation as well. Drop down radio controls. This one has ventilated seats and heated seats, which you cannot get on the GT350R. You got your chrome toggle switches, a little cubby for some Tootsie Rolls, maybe some Jolly Ranchers, a USB and a 12 volt. I accidentally just shut the vehicle off, that's okay. We have our 10-speed automatic transmission, 2 cup holders, and then we have our Mustang unique key fob. It's got remote start, you could pop the trunk. Soft touch, good old-fashioned e-brake. We open this up, you could easily put about 8 maybe 12 Twinkies, as long as you don't squeeze them too hard because you don't want to get cream everywhere. You got a USB in there, which is nice. Seats, nice leather. I love the perforated material. You do have the stitching, which is great. And what's nice too is that the bolstering is not too high. Plenty of headroom in here. Of course, you got the back seats. We're not getting into those today, but why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you what's behind the wheel of this particular Mustang GT. All right, guys, we're behind the wheel of the Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1. You got your Mustang badging, very tastefully done. Lights up at night. You're gonna have 3 memory seat settings, power seat controls for the bottom, not for the back, and that's a big old zonk. Steering wheel, I like the thickness. I just don't like the updated Mustang logo. I wish they would have left it the old-fashioned style. This just doesn't, it looks like a squiggly line. I'm not really digging it. I do like the brushed aluminum, simple on the buttons. You got plastic paddles on the back of the wheel to go up and down, the 10-speed automatic. And this one, the big crescendo, is gonna be that 12-inch digital display, clear graphics. You could go into your different modes here by using those toggle switchers like a fighter plane. And what it's gonna do is it actually allows you to go into different modes very, very easily with the system, like that overall. And then really just comfortable. The seats are really nice, comfortable. This is gonna be for those who want a little bit more daily driver, but also want to tear up the twisties. But why don't we go ahead, get over to that Shelby GT350R and see how it's different. All right, guys, we're inside my GT350R. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, of course your GT350R is a notch above what that Mustang GT is, but I really just wanted to compare 2 performance-oriented Mustang GTs, and I know that you want to see more of my car. Now, if you're wondering, Joe, what's the MSRP on this? With the Heritage package, I option nothing else besides the Heritage package. That's it. You can put B&O sound system. You can put a couple other extra little touches, the carbon fiber trim. The way that I have it, MSRP is $76,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panel, love the Alcantara material. The red stitching is unique to the GT350R. Everything else on the door panel looks exactly the same as on that Mustang GT. Now, when we go from the door panel to the dash, same soft touch material. You got your chassis plate here. This is a GT350R, and because of that Guardsman blue, you know it's a Heritage Edition. It's got your regular silver and black trim here, oil temp and oil pressure auxiliary gauges. Same 8-inch infotainment system screen, and you could get into your AC and whatnot. There's just no navigation, but you do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, no heated or ventilated seats. And if you notice, the P51 style toggle switches are blacked out. The reason why is because they knew that this was going to be a track-ready car, and they didn't want extra glare. You have a USB and a 12-volt. You have those race-winning Tootsie Rolls, and then this is the magic. Whereas that, you're able to get a 10-speed. This is the Tremec 6-speed only manual transmission. Nice short throws, great crisp engagement. Love this thing. This is where the magic happens. 2 cup holders. Let me go ahead and see if I can get my key out. Probably should have had it already out, but you know how these things go. Sometimes you gotta just go with the flow, and that's what we're doing here on Rady's Rides. Here's the key fob. It's got the Cobra on it. It's gonna bite you. And then on the back, you can pop the trunk. You got your lock and unlock, and of course, my wonderful wife got me this classic Cobra key fob to just keep with the key fob. Well, I should say keychain with the key fob. 2 cup holders, same great e-brake. The zonk is, I wish, you see how there's leather stitching everywhere? The nice red stitching on this material. They should have took this and put it on the armrest, put it on the shift lever. So that's a zonk. And then the seats though are spot on the money. These are specific not only to the R, but to the GT350 Heritage Edition. So bright red R, the stitch work is great, nice bolstering, manual controls for both the passenger and the driver. And this one, there's no rear seat. So you don't have to worry about Joe Rady getting into the back. And I'll have, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the seat forward for Victor so he can show off the back. So Victor, I'm gonna flop this seat forward here, and then you could kind of maybe give him a peek. No back seat, that's gonna help shed that weight. And they take out the sound deadening in the R, but I don't care, I wanna hear that voodoo. But why don't you come over to the business end? I wanna show you behind this Alcantara wrap steering wheel of my GT350R. All right guys, behind the wheel of my GT350R, you got that beautiful Ford Performance badge. Remember, when you buy a Ford Performance product, you do get a free day at the racing school. The new location is Charlotte Motor Speedway. You know and I know I'll be taking you there. And we got the 3 pedals, brushed aluminum. I wish the dead pedal was a little bit larger, so that's a zonk, and I wish that it was brushed aluminum just like the other pedals, but great placement for that heel-toe downshifting. Seats, you can see the bolstering. I'm 6 feet tall, I got plenty of headroom in here. Put a helmet on, love the bolstering. These are the seats I really wanted, and then the steering wheel. I have that Cobra right there. What better way to die than to get bit in the neck by that thing? Red leather stripe, top dead center, Alcantara all the way around with the crisscross stitching. And the great news is no digital dash, and I'm happy with that. Analog tach, analog speedometer in the center there. You have a digital display. You can see I'm showcasing the cylinder head temperature. So you could actually change that gauge to show a variety of different information. Plus, you have F1, Formula One style shift lights for a head-up display to allow you to know when you're gonna hit that 8,250 RPM red line. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get to the best part. I hope you're ready with a towel. Let's take these 2 Mustangs for a spin. All right, guys, we're gonna start off in the Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1. Remember, this comparison is not about me bashing every other Mustang with my GT350R. I just want to show the differences in what's available for your hard-earned money. But on throttle, here we go, 10-speed automatic, drops down. Those are those fast shifts. And that's what makes this car lethal. Even in stock form, with the Coyote V8, 460 horsepower, having those fast shifts, it really just levels out the playing field between this car and my GT350R, since I'm gonna have to row through the gears myself. Now, what I love about this car is at this price point, you're getting the ventilated seats, you're getting the heated seats, and you know what? The seats are comfy. They don't offer the most lateral support, but you definitely are gonna have that everyday comfort, which is gonna make this car a dream to drive. The LED, 12-inch LED display, even though I'm not disappointed that Ford never brought that out for the GT350 or the 350R, it is a nice touch for sure. I'm not saying that, oh, I gotta have my old-fashioned gauges. I prefer old-fashioned gauges, but if you're gonna go this route, this is one hell of a system. Super clear, super clean. Everywhere you touch, I do like the fact that they have soft materials. Now, is everything super high-end? There are some places that could still be improved, but you know what? For the price point, for the performance, you're getting a ton for the money. If you've been looking at Camaros, one thing you're gonna notice right off the bat with this Mustang is you're getting better visibility and you're getting more trunk space. Even though we didn't showcase the trunk, you are getting more trunk space. But on throttle, drops down, we're off. Look at this. Unbelievable. I mean, it's so fast that people don't even realize how fast you're going and switch lanes in front of you. So that's how quick this Mustang GT is. And if you notice, it loves to hold the gear so that when you're back on throttle, she's not even really having to drop down to anything. You're just off and running. Just like on my GT350R, you do have the ability to change the stiffness of the steering, so you can actually add more weight to the steering, which that's I think a phenomenal thing. Rather than just have it set up that if you're in sport, it changes everything. You can personalize this a little bit more than some other cars out there, which is really great. I think having the 8-inch infotainment system, really nice with the navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. And you got those 2 auxiliary gauges, which just look badass in between the AC vents. All right, guys, here we go. Once again, on throttle, drops down, and we're off. Love that V8 growl. Look at this. The shifts are so fast, so fast. You got the Brembo brakes, the larger rotors, larger calipers to shed speed, just like a grizzly bear sheds hair, and really just so smooth. I'm gonna leave it in automatic mode this whole review, just to kind of showcase it. I really think that's a sweet spot. Even though it's an automatic, I really want to showcase the sweet spot. Let's do acceleration test from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. Yeah, on the brakes. Look at this, nice handling. Back on throttle. I'm telling you right now, you gotta watch one of my reviews when I compare a standard Mustang GT to the Performance Pack Level 1, because those 2 are night and day difference. Really great feedback to the steering wheel. If you notice, we didn't have a ton of body roll. She gets the traction down really, really well. And I know I've been saying it, but I'll say it again, this automatic, this 10-speed, it's just lightning quick. I prefer, as you are aware, a 6-speed manual, but boy oh boy, that really, to put this up against my GT350R in a drag race, that levels the playing field. I mean, the quarter-mile time is pretty much the same. That's what you're getting with that fast shifting action. It's that good, it's that smooth. And then you could even go take this to a track day on a road course and enjoy it. You know, you're getting that flexibility, and then you're making a nice daily driver, and I'm sitting on ventilated seats. That's the wonderful thing, keeping my butt nice and cool. But even driving just normal speeds, it feels really, really good. But boy, oh boy, when you want to turn up that wick, on throttle. Love that V8 sound. The Coyote has a great sound. It really does. Look at this. Freaking ridiculous. It really is just how fast this thing gets up to speed. Those downshifts so purposeful. Back on those massive Brembos. Look at this. Super smooth. Here we go. Round and round and round we go. Here we go. Yeah! It just puts a smile on your face. That's what's so great about these cars, no matter which one you get. Whether you go GT350R, GT500, GT with a performance pack level 1, it's gonna put a freaking smile on your face unless you're already dead. That's the only thing I can think is that if somebody stuffed you and you're dead, maybe it won't put a smile on your face. But boy, oh boy, if you got a beating heart, this thing is gonna quicken your pulse by far. But why don't we go ahead, let's get back to Walker Ford and get behind the wheel of my GT350R so we could do the comparison. I'll see you in a muscle Mustang, muscle car kind of minute. All right guys, we're in the Shelby GT350R Heritage Edition, leaving Walker Ford. Just got done with the Mustang GT. Here we go, on throttle. Love the sound, love the sensation. You know this is not your first rodeo with me in a GT350R, but it is very special to be in my very own finally after all this time. Lots of hard work, but also lots of support from you guys. Right away, you just feel just how much more fine-tuned the R is, the GT350 and GT350R is over a Mustang GT. But like I said, that's not what this comparison's about. I'm not about, oh, my car's better and every other Mustang sucks. No, they're both performance-oriented Mustangs. What do they bring to the table for the money? You're getting a lot of performance for the money with that Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1, especially if you do go with the automatic transmission, because that transmission, the shifts, as you saw, are lightning quick. All right, guys, let's hear a little voodoo magic, shall we? On throttle. Yeah! God, I love this car. I freaking love my Shelby GT350R. I love this car. I love it. Even with the zonks, which remember, no car's perfect. This one, she was made and meant for me. Love just how smooth the power delivery is, even though it doesn't have a ton of torque. It only has 9 more foot-pound of torque over the GT. It's just perfect. And the heel-toe downshift is just really, really magical. Into this left-hand bend here. Good feedback coming from the wheel. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah! God. It just makes it even more special that this one is mine. Having the Guardsman blue stripes. I love the feedback to the steering wheel, which remember, you could actually adjust the level of feedback. You could even adjust the level of what you want out of the suspension, even though it's got the Magna-Ride suspension, and it does a hell of a job on its own. You can put it into different settings. I got the shift lights. The Tremec is a hot knife through butter. The sound, the pedal placement, everything about her, I just love. But great feedback coming to the wheel. And with those steamrollers out back, you're not worrying about grip whatsoever. Second gear, on throttle. resonator delete, so we're getting a little bit more sound and a lot more sensation. Looking up in the rear view, all I see is massive wing, and I don't give a damn. I don't care who's behind me, because it's all about going forward in this car, that's for sure. The Alcantara wrap steering wheel. And one reason why I did not want the carbon fiber optional trim in here is that this has been designed to not make glare. All the finishes in here are blacked out on purpose so that you don't have glare as you're doing your track day. That's why I wanted to leave it that way. But one last time on throttle. She's so freaking planted. It's like I got magnets on all four sets of the wheels here, on all four corners, and I'm on a metal road. That's what I feel like. But I'm just so grateful to be able to share this with you, plus also share the capabilities of that Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1 for the money. It's got a lot of value there. That's bar none. But we're gonna get back to Walker Ford, so I'll see you in a Mustang minute. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day here at Walker Ford. This was never meant to be a, hey, which car is better, which car is faster. I wanted to showcase what's available when it comes to your hard-earned money and going performance with a Mustang. You guys have made me lucky enough to be able to get one of these GT350Rs, and for me, there really isn't any better Mustang, but you know what? This Mustang GT with the Performance Pack Level 1 brings so much value for the money, it's ridiculous. But I definitely gotta thank Frank Walker, Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Mark, Austin, Greg, the whole crew here, so accommodating to not only help me make this dream happen, just like you guys helped me make this dream happen, but also bring out some more great performance vehicles from Ford. But if it's comparisons like these that you like to see on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Ladies Rise merch. Got to give it up to Crown Vic. He's loving Mustangs more and more every day. He actually wants to go ride a pony. So we'll get that handled, Vic. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.